Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am Franchise Pearson, and welcome again to my channel. It is Monday evening. Yes, on the 22nd of December at 6:20 in the p.m. Let's say it together. Praise God from whom all blessings flow. Well, I just completed a live video about a half hour ago. And many times when I get done with a live or I do a video that really moves something within me, I get to talking to myself. And I have these conversations. I need to turn the mic on and then just post it. And I think going forward, I'm like, Pearson, you're going to have to develop a habit and do that. So I want to hit the rewind button in my brain and go over some of the points that I made when I got done with the live. And one of the points that I came up with in relation to our commander-in-chief speaking tonight, you see, because he wants to build battleships. Yeah, he wants to build battleships, submarines, the whole 9 yards. Peace through strength. And I told myself, I'm like, you know what? I think it's going to come to a point where Americans are going to start asking the question, just who are you? Because many times politicians and presidents, they run their first campaign. They give these announcements, right? And special people are there for the gathering, and it's a nice little spectacle, and the media's there, and off you go through your campaign, and you roll the dice from city to city, town to town, and state to state, in hopes that someone will vote you in. Well, Trump has done that twice. He's become president twice. And from the point of announcement to actual being inaugurated, that's 1 feat. Then you're in there, and then you begin to implement the things that you've been talking about, and sprinkle with a few Cracker Jacks, that is, a few surprises. When you live long enough, you anticipate a few surprises, but you expect that the things that you ran on, you would then fulfill. Now, I fast forward to today. He wants to build battleships, and he wants to build submarines. I'm really thinking, when I look at the overall economy, and I said this in part in my live, is that you need to take care of the immediacy, the immediate problem. And the immediate problem is that we have an economy that cannot be tamed on so many fronts. And looking back, pointing the finger at Joe Biden, it's not going to do it anymore. And we need something similar to the WPA, whereas you brought the tech giants, millionaires and billionaires, to the White House on the 21st of January. And you've had at least one more or maybe subsequent meetings since then. And you're investing in AI technology, and even mentioned today they're going to have robot factories. And I'm thinking, I'm pulling myself away from the everyday grind that an average American would have. And I want to step back in my community and ask myself, in relation to once upon a time versus futuristic plans. I don't think the average person minds having a computer or two or some advancement. But when it comes down to that thing which they're making will then take your job, though that's a whole different story. That's not what we want. What we want is that we want full employment. We want health care. We want burial insurance. We want to take a few vacations. We want a decent, respectful living wage. We don't want to have to work a job and a half or two jobs just to make ends meet or to take care of those fundamental things I just brought up. That's not the America that some of our forefathers had and some of our friends have. The disparity, the gap is getting too wide, and the promises are distant. They're an echo. He's been promising, and he's been claiming that factories are being built where people, I like you, we drive and we look down the street. Many businesses that were open this time last year, they're closed. Now, whether you can argue about it, it's a ripple effect because of the Biden administration or the 11 months he's been there. I don't care. The bottom line is that he's talking about robot factories, working alongside robots, having AI do a job. At the same time, he wants to build ships and subs. But yet he's promising that they're going to be jobs. What I see is a military industrial complex of modern day. There was a soldier, I can't think of his name right now. There was a soldier or two, and I think it was Dwight D. Eisenhower before he left office. He warned us about the military-industrial complex, the military-industrial complex. And Smedley Butler, yes, Smedley Butler, look him up, decorated soldier. These are the real heroes that people, they don't tell us about enough, who have this patriotic mindset to reinvest and be relevant for the time. Like I said, we go from past to futuristic. I don't think the average American, when they think about having a job, wants to have to compete with a robot or AI. They want to be able to use their hands and their ears and their eyes, and this, I called it in my life, this brilliance, this which God made in his image, this is brilliance. It's like I feel in this generation, we're begging government to catch up with us. We're saying, give God a chance, because you're boxing God out in this generation. And the point that I really want to make, that I was having the conversation with myself, of which I told myself, do a video, is simply this. The more I look at Donald Trump, and the more I look at Congress, the more I look at Silicon Valley, and these multi-million-dollar and multi-billion-dollar companies who can easily say, stop the press, and say, we're going to give America at least 2 to 3 years, and all the money that we would invest in technology, or even half the money that we would invest in technology, we're going to employ people. We're going to invest in people. And I bet in 2 years, neighborhoods will become self-sufficient. I have that much promise and believability in my fellow man and woman. I know that we're smart and capable of being self-sufficient, if not just given the opportunity, but having the resources to do it. And it can be done in so many ways. You could literally give the money to the college where they could have courses, or you give it directly to the people, and we could rehab America tomorrow. Because technology and robots and AI and ships and missiles and submarines is outpacing that which God made. That's the problem that I got. And so when I listen to him, I'm like, he's not relevant. He might as well be speaking a language I've never heard before because I'm not connecting with him. And I haven't connected with a president in so long, my expectations have come down to almost zero. I'm listening to him like, where do I fit? It is in part arguably a page out of the Roman Empire because it's missiles and bombs and all that jazz. And boots on the ground. And that's your investment. Your biggest investment is someone beyond the vote. It's us. We are the miracle. It's we the people. And what I said is what I think is prophetic. The more I look at this man, and when I say look at him, I look at him. The more I look at him, the more I look at what he's been doing and what he has not been doing, the more I look at the people that he surrounds himself with, the more I see him name a battleship allegedly after him, or his name being front and center over the Kennedy Center, the more I see that his name is on this and that, and the more I look at him and the people surrounding him and the people that invest in his focus and what he's projecting this new America to be, this golden age, if you will, the more I look at him, and then I look at what he's prescribing, this futuristic, the robots, the AI, the technology, these gadgets. The more I look at him, the more I look at that, I look back at him, and I ask myself, who are you? And I think as Americans, we are growing to ask that question. Who is he? Because all the things that you're developing, that's got to come from a mindset. That's got to come from a need. That's got to come from a desire. If you're a man or a woman and you're dating someone, they tell you who they are. You meet their family, their surroundings, their environment. You go places with them. You eat with them. You vibe with them. And over a period of time, you look historically as to how they presented themselves. And then you compare to what you've experienced. And if it don't match up with what they're putting out there in relation to the promises that you guys might have made between each other, you ask in that relationship, who are you? What are you doing? Because this benefits you. This don't benefit me. But it's us in this relationship. But you're making and involving and investing and promising, but I'm really asking myself now, you've run your campaign. This ain't your first time on the rodeo. This is your second time being president. By now, As a breathing American, you should be at this point. And forgive me if I'm late to the party, but I'm saying it as a content creator. I'm looking at him and the extension of him. And when I see where that is going, that's not me. That doesn't reflect me. That reflects everything the Bible is prophesying. How Satan wants the world to be. And now I'm feeling I don't fit. And this is an insult not only to my intelligence, but my existence as a human being in America. Because now I'm to a point where I'm refocusing. And we've been on a long date, a real long extended date. This is our second time. We didn't make it through the first time. But we dating again. And I've seen enough of you now. And I see where you're going. And all your inner circle. People, this ain't human. This ain't human. Mm-mm. 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 Understand what I'm saying here. This ain't human. You need to ask. Because if you haven't, you need to catch up. AI, rocket ships, Elon Musk, battleships, submarines, robots, robot factories. When I ask the question, who are you? I take all that I just mentioned into account with the question. This couldn't be human. Because a human wouldn't be going forward with this extensive plan. It doesn't match up with the human experience. Do you understand? You can couch it any way, you can couch it and spin it any way you want to. It doesn't match up with the human experience. You're losing me. You're losing us. But you're calling yourself a president that you're presiding over. You're governing. But you're not governing us. You're making a whole new kingdom, which excludes us or controls us. This could not be the same as the campaign promise. I want you to think. And I want you to ask yourself and put in the comment section, who are these people? Or are they even people? Because this couldn't be God sent. It couldn't be. And the further we go in time, the further away they are from us and our needs. And it's beginning to show. And God gave us enough brilliance that when something like that happens to that degree, you automatically know to ask the right question. You ain't wrong. This, wow, what a caper.